Nigel, thanks for sitting down with me today. I appreciate it. Nigel, KWS in the global scheme of things would be considered a medium-sized seed company. Fair to say?
Fair to say, yeah.
You've got a strong portfolio, an ever-growing portfolio. What would you say is behind the success of KWS? Because it really has been success.
Yes, and I think there's always been a very strong focus on specific things. As you say, a smaller, medium-sized business, we're very much focused on the long-term view. So, and a lot of that is thanks to very stable shareholding. And in fact, we still have 56% of our shares are still owned by descendants of the founding families that started the company in 1856. And that helps us a great deal to really then focus on breeding and making sure that we're reliably providing good performing germplasm to customers. I mean, our other focus as well is really closeness to customers and making sure that that relationship is very strong. We respect them as entrepreneurs, both distributors and farmers, and it's our job to provide them with seed that adds value to their business.
There's a lot of consolidation going on in the seed industry these days, big multinationals buying up smaller organizations. How does KWS stay so strong and stay committed to that, as you described it, that connection with the audience?
Yeah, for sure, that's a challenge, and there's some very big players out there, and we tend to have a view as a medium-sized player. Our entire intention is to grow. Of course, we don't challenge the large players, so we have very much a collaborative mindset in those sorts of things. So you can see that in our activities in the US with AgriLion, for example, and Ribeir in Brazil, and Kenfeng in China, where we're very able and quite quickly able to form joint ventures and collaborate. And then again, if our focus is on high-performing germplasm and the customer relationship, that can make us an attractive partner for large players in regions of the world and still give us opportunities for growth. So we think that's a long-term position for a company of our size with some growth ambitions as well.
The European seed sector has had its fair share of challenges over the last number of decades, safe to say, yeah. Mm-hmm. What has to happen in Brussels for them to get focused on facilitating the seed industry rather than hindering it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a continual problem, and it's very much a political problem. And we really need to get our message understood and to be seen as something that will help to address some of the larger challenges of society. Even though we're private sector, we're profit motivated, we have nothing to be ashamed of in that, but in terms of response to climate change and sustainable agriculture and safe, traceable food, then the seed industry is very important. And we need the seed industry to really be recognised for those aspects of its work, and that's quite a tough job. I mean, there are lots of differing political views, and we're clearly operating in a political environment. So it's about information and getting that information out there.
Speaking of information, ESA's working to improve that communication component both internally and externally, working on a Speak Up for Seeds program. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about why that's so critical, I mean, even based on what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it really is the response to that, to say, well, historically we've not been that successful in getting our message across and for people to really see the seed industry in a positive light. And we're the people that need to do that. We need to be able to explain what we do, why we do it, be more transparent, be more open. But we also need others to be alongside us in giving that message. So it's very important that the academic community, economists and independent voices also recognise that view, because of course we're commercial companies and we will always promote ourselves. So to get the credibility in this political world, then we have to persuade the persuaders, and we have to be very open and very transparent, and people to see this for themselves.
And Nigel, you're taking on a leadership role within the European Seed Association. You're the incoming president for the ESA. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Nigel, can you tell us a little bit about what are your goals or hopes for a 2-year term, Nigel?
3-year term.
3-year term.
Yeah.
So 3-year term. So you have 3 years. What's your kind of hopes and goals?
Well, it's all around this same topic of communication, outreach and message. ESA has recently had a review of direction just to make sure that it's capable of really dealing in this more political arena rather than necessarily focusing on some of the technical specialities and legal specialities of the regulations that we have to work with. We still have to do that. We still have to have that competence, but we now need to be able to go out and talk about the seed industry on some of these bigger topics. So it's not necessarily just about us, and we need to be able to explain to the political environment in very straightforward terms that are easy to understand, that are not legally specific or technically specific, why the seed industry is important to Europe. And so over my term of president, that really will be the focus of the organisation, is to spread that information as widely and generally as we can.
Would it be safe to say that the membership, the quality of output of the association has really never been stronger? We're here in Vienna, and we're expecting over 900 people to attend. The seed industry in Europe is ready to engage.
It's excellent, and it's also it's very international outside of Europe as well. And we have a vibrant membership. And again, when we're looking at these communication outreach type topics, we're able to draw on a big network of seed associations through all of the European countries, and we've got top brains for all of the specialities within that network. So again, with a little bit better coordination, we can become much more effective.
We're looking forward to a couple of great days here. Thanks very much for your time, Nigel.
Thank you very much, Shawn.